Welcome to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. Wow, this market is going bonkers. We talked about Bitcoin at resistance around 14k about 10 days ago, and about how this resistance may not actually be a resistance. If you want to see the reasoning for that, go back to the previous video, episode 7, that is, I believe. And pretty much as the 14.1 level got broken, as we discussed in that video, price teleported through this supposed supply zone, and I don't know what's going to happen from here. It kind of looks that the low time frame structure is looking for more upside. We're going to be still using this chart. I'm not really going to use any other charts, but I have other analysis that you can see on Twitter. I post a lot of it, that thinks that price is going to continue moving higher. So we're going to dive into the low time frames, because really that's where the clues are right now, whether we see continuation. And I think that if we see continuation, price can, I don't know, reach prices in the neighborhood of 17, 18, 19k. And I'm still expecting for it to happen around November 23rd, give or take a few days. And I don't know how deep it's going to fall, because it's looking that we might have some support below us right now. But if it can continue going up from here, it's just going to be very steep parabola. And that really asks for a bigger correction. So, you know, I think we talked about how this region right here is support. And if we continue up here, let's say we hit 18 or 19k, that's really where I think we're going to start to see a big correction. It could go higher. So this is the reason why I'm not going to fade anything. I'm not going to go like net short on anything. But I'm looking to reduce the leverage, and then after I've done that, I'm kind of go flat BTC, and from flat BTC, I think there must be some low time frame opportunities to get some cash positions to position for a sell off. But if the sell off happens just out of nowhere, laddering my sells for the leverage to reduce my exposure. Now is just probably a good idea. So the daily is trying to whoops, I always do this, super annoying. The daily is looking for a breakout. The level here, which is, let's see, 15,600, kind of is the crucial level for the daily close today. And price might actually want to go a little bit lower, but if we look at it from the 1 hour, I think that price maybe wants to come down and retest this region of 15,530 to 15,500. No, yeah, 560-ish. There's quite some support right here now. This high got gained. Pretty much every high got gained. So I think that this entire region, it's finding support right now at this high, which could perfectly be it. But I'm not looking to add any exposure, as I said. If I see price come down below this significantly, I'm going to be cautious whether this is actually a breakout, because then we're losing the high again. So I don't know, I'd be looking at further downside and maybe even a reversal. So I'll probably take some off the table if that happens. But for now, it's kind of looking good. We're close to the resistance of the supply zone of the weekly close back in early 2018. Important level to watch. And I don't know, this looks explosive. If we kind of zoom out and look at what this is. And there was something else that I really have to show you. Let's see if I can get it on the daily. It's best visualized in a linear scale, but it's pretty much that we're this Livermore cylinder. And the funny part is that we have a small one, and sorry about that, that we have a small one that is breaking out too. So essentially, oh, this is pretty nice too. Essentially, this is a Livermore cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breakout 8, 9, 10, whatever, wherever it goes. Could literally be all the way up here, although I'm skeptical whether that's going to happen. And I'm just going to be laddering, take profits in this region. But the funny thing is that if we zoom in on this, that we can also spot this little baby right here. Let me make this black. Voila. Which is essentially also a Livermore cylinder, but just a little bit more aggressive, a little bit steeper to the upside. And you can see how it caused the breakout of the bigger one. And I've talked about these relations between lower time fractals inside higher time frame fractals, and I tend to believe that on average these lower time frame fractals hint on what's going to happen on the higher time frame. So this one broke out, then this one broke out, and it's retesting it now. So literally what I think is that this is going to continue up and eventually retest red and maybe even break through it. That's very possible. But that means that this is quite a large accumulation and it's just breaking out. So it could easily go up much further than people think. And that's why I'm not looking to short. That's why I'm looking to reduce leverage and sit in spot BTC exposure. And if there's a very obvious reason to maybe go to some cash, maybe the funding goes crazy, so then just going to cash is going to benefit me by actually getting some funding. I don't know. It's too difficult to say from here, but I would probably assume that we go to 18, 19, hopefully not too much higher, but it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to see a 35% correction, as we spoke about in the previous video too. So upside, severe downside, and then probably back to severe upside. And I don't know, the 23rd of November remains a very important pivot, and then we have the 4th of Jan. And I just found out that, well, not found out, but I remembered that Bitcoin's birthday is on the 3rd of Jan. So somehow, I don't know, be it coincidence or not, it's kind of funny that these 2 points align. So I think that the 23rd of November is going to be a high. And I don't know whether the 4th of Jan is going to be a low, or that we just dump in between these points and that it's going to be a high again. So if that's the case, it's like bam, 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 something like that, roughly. But we'll update that as we see price develop. It doesn't make too much sense to go ahead and predict all of that. It's just too arbitrary, and price will give us ideas and hints about what's more likely, and how we can manage to protect our P&L and hopefully gain some benefit by buying lower again. So let's see how that plays out. ETH BTC, I'm still skeptical about it. We traded straight into the support here, and we had actually a pretty nice reaction. I was hoping for ETH BTC, and I think it's still possible, but we'll have to see how it plays out, for it to trade a little bit lower eventually towards the black line right here. And obviously it kind of like bounced a little bit here, but it still hasn't confirmed anything bullish. In my opinion, there is an argument to be made on the daily that it's bullish. So I'm kind of neutral to it, but I'm definitely not going to get any here. It's too dangerous. So basically this is kind of like a pivot that pushed price further down. There was some consolidation here. So this could look like a low. It actually doesn't look too bad for being a low. And then it pumped past these two levels basically and gained it. So if this is a bottom and it doesn't go to black, what I want to see is to actually get an entry, right? Is that we have a very slow bleed into green. And I actually shorted ETH BTC now. For that, I'll show you the 1 hour. But what it actually is telling me is that, I don't know, I might be completely wrong on this one. It might go higher without me, and I'm not actually shorted it now. So that would be a loss on the account. I think we need to retest green. And if Bitcoin rips very hard, I think we'll still see black. And the reason for that is, I think this is too obvious. I think this is like the most obvious support. I think it's just gonna retest it a little bit lower. You see how this kind of like had some support here initially on this weekly, kind of bounced, and then it should have been supported, didn't, and then it finally bounced out. So I kind of think that it's just going to fall through it a little bit. And if not, it's, you know, it's a trade I took, and it's going to be a loss. So here is basically the hourly trade ID, where it's going to be very important that we hold this. If we want to be bearish on this pair, that doesn't mean that ETHUSD cannot go up. But I'm bearish because we have this range right here, and we had a deviation on top of it. Literally everyone on Twitter is screaming that it's supposed to be bullish and go up. And one of their arguments is, well, ETHUSD is going up, so ETHUSD is lagging to BTC, so ETH BTC will go up too, which is an irrational explanation of price action, because this is literally a low time frame opportunity to short it. And you roll the dice on this 100 times, and I'm gonna go jump the gun and say it's gonna be 50% of the time it's definitely it's gonna hit green. You know, so this is probably, we can measure it. Look, you TP at the top of the box. Just pull this down a little bit. That's 5 hours. So, you know, hitting this 50% of the time is a pretty fucking good statistic. And I'm gonna take profit there, which enables me later on either to buy the dip here or much lower. We'll see what happens. I think that ETHUSD can go up a lot. If Bitcoin is going to pump 30% from here to the upside, of course ETHUSD is going to go up, unless ETH BTC somehow miraculously dumps so hard that literally everyone is wrecked. But I'm really waiting for some capitulation, and I think it might have been here, the capitulation. But if that was the capitulation, I'm pretty sure we're going to retrace like 60 to 70 to 80% of the first pump. This is a clear 5. This is a clear deviation. So either a slow bleed or just go through it, dump even further. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Litecoin, well, guys, I've given up on it. It's down the shitter. I'm not going to touch that anymore. I don't know. This just looks so shitty. I don't like it anymore. And if it's gonna, you know, I'm now gonna wait for Litecoin to actually start pumping and form a good trend, and then get in if it ever happens. Right now, I've been trying to figure it out and thought I should try a few times, and I didn't win. So I'm not going to bother with it anymore. Normally, I would maybe try a third time, and now I'm saying that I'm going to try a third time only if I actually see bullish structure. on higher time frames, because every time this kind of showed some intention to do something, it just failed. So I don't know. That's it. Bitcoin. Let's finish this up. Looks bullish. Broke out at the top of the range here, trying to find support. If it does, it's going to go to 17, 18, 19, maybe even higher. And I think a big correction is eventually coming. I think it's not going to take too long, or maybe like 2 weeks tops, maybe a little bit earlier. And it's going to get pretty crazy. I think that if Bitcoin sells off, even alts are going to get hurt. Even the BTC pairs, if BTC sells off, will get hurt. And then we buy the dip on alts and we kind of run with Bitcoin back to higher levels. That said, this one has been pretty long already, 60 minutes. I'm going to talk to you hopefully in a week or maybe on the date of the pivot. But I'm probably going to make a video around the moment I'm selling some exposure. Peace.